Hello and good day once again, everyone. My name is Eric Loprete, and welcome back into Night Talk here on Annunciation Radio from the Diocese of Toledo. It may be cold outside, but the Knights of Columbus are coming out hot to start 2026 as we gear up for what is going to be a record-setting year for the Knights of Columbus here in the Toledo Diocese. To help me go over some of these early developments, we bring in our current state coordinator for Coach for Kids, Mr. Greg Singlar.
How we doing, guys?
Good. How are you today, sir?
Not too bad. Not too bad.
I like the energy you're bringing on.
Thank you.
Excellent.
Thank you.
Excellent.
It's the weekend. What do you expect?
I know it. Yes, you're absolutely right. We are free for the weekend, and we got some football. Well, some of us have football to watch. We should
yes,
say.
absolutely.
Okay. So we will start nonetheless in the name of the Father and the Son and the Holy Spirit. Loving Father, on this day, many will struggle in the harshness of winter. Please guide the homeless to shelter and give comfort to the homebound. In places where winter has delivered yet another onslaught, please give courage to the discouraged and spiritual comfort to the disheartened. Where there is hardship because of ice, snow, and coldness, please give hope, Lord God. Although we are fragile in our humanity, help us to remain strong in faith. Amen. In the name of the Father, the Son, Holy Spirit. Once again, just want to thank my wife, Katie Loprete, for providing that prayer. Great job, as always, Katie.
The better half of Eric Loprete.
Well, that's very true, and I think most people are quite aware of that as they get to know me and my wife.
She's my favorite Loprete. You know that, right?
Yeah. Well, some of the boys over at Fourth Degree, I'm sure they would agree with you too. So, anyway, Greg, as I said in the start, it's going to be a hot year for the Knights of Columbus. 2026, 2025 was absolutely fantastic. We set so many goals and we set so many records. We were Star Council, we were Circle of Honor winners for the entire state of Ohio. We brought in a record number of new knights into the order. We continue to build on that as we go into 2026. So it's absolutely incredible to see what's going on and how God's working in the Knights of Columbus. But one of the first things I wanted to start is with Coach for Kids. That was a tremendous success. You had a lot to do with that, but we just so many supporting councils that helped you do that. What are our plans though for this upcoming? I know there's still some ordering that people can do for Coach for Kids right now, if you kind of want to expand on that.
Yeah, so, as we all know, I was the state warden runner-up this past year, and about 3 days after the election, our state deputy, Mike Filerski, says, "Hey, you're not going anywhere. I got a job for you, and it's going to be a challenge, and I want you to run the Coach for Kids program throughout the entire state of Ohio." So he put that task on me, and it was the using the Supreme buy one get one free initiative. We were able to buy one case of coats, get the same exact case for free. We were able to break a record in 2025 for the amount of coats that we were able to give throughout Ohio. Ohio grew over 9,400 coats compared to 2026 or 2024, excuse me. And trust me, when I say we grew, I mean there were councils that didn't even participate and Coach for Kids previously, and they just decided to go order 8, 10, 12, some of them up to, in Perrysburg's case, 7978, they ordered 44 cases and got 44 free for a total of 88 cases. That was the most in the entire state. Oh, and by the way, after the initiative was over, after we were done distributing them, they went out and bought like 700 more coats. So there is always a need for these coats, for the Coats for Kids program, and it's still going on. A couple days after Christmas, I'm sitting there at home getting ready to work out on the second half of the year, and all of a sudden I get an email saying Supreme's launched the BOGO program again for the month of January. So from now until Sunday, January 26th at 6 p.m., you will be able to order more Coats for Kids and get buy one, get one free. The only downside is we have to limit it to only 4 cases of coats that you can purchase, and you'd get 4 for free. That would be the maximum that we can do this time around. But other than that, I still encourage councils to get coats, and whether you need it now or even for next year and you're just trying to get a head start for next year, it's always a great thing because, sometimes when we do the Coats for Kids program and where it lines up, it gets cold quicker in some years before the coats can arrive and everything. So having coats on hand for next year to jumpstart you isn't necessarily the worst idea in the world. So I encourage councils to definitely get those coats on this second buy going around. And, it's only 4 cases of coats, but again, jumpstart for next year.
And even though, like you said, it is only 4 cases of coats, those 4 cases
48
of
coats.
And that's going to go and give 48 kids an opportunity to keep warm. And as we all know, in the state of Ohio, winter can last several months past January.
I think it's 10 degrees outside right now, so it's pretty cold.
I mean, there's still snow. I mean, we're living in an ice box right now. So we once again encourage councils. And where can they go? Maybe for councils who may just be picking up on this.
If you go to the state website, kfcohio.org, and hover over the menu at the programs, there'll be a spot where it's called Coats for Kids. You can click on there, and there'll be the order form right there for you guys.
Excellent. Now, moving topics, another thing that we really wanted to start stressing, especially this year and especially next year as well, is our Warriors to Lords program. Now, I'm going to need a little bit of assistance on this. For me, I don't know much about this program. When we were talking about it, I know we brought it up in the chapter meeting last night, but can you kind of expound on what this program is and what we're doing here?
Yeah, so it all goes back to our roots, right? I mean, it's you got to kind of take a deep dive back into what the Knights of Columbus is all about. What is our emblems of the order? It's charity, unity, fraternity, and what's the fourth one? Patriotism. And what do we do for the 4th degree? We support the veterans of our country.
Absolutely.
People that have served. This Warriors to Lords program does just that. The Warriors to Lords program allows to send people that have served our country over to Lourdes, France, and councils can make donations for it. This year, I was just asked simply to encourage councils to make donations, councils and assemblies. I don't want to exclude councils, assemblies, or chapters because you all can make a donation. If you guys just go to Warriors to Lords program, KFC, and a Google search, you'll find all the information right there, and there will be a link to where you can donate towards that fund. I encourage you all to do that. That's just the basics for this year's program. Next year, I hope to expand on it a little bit more. That was actually going to be my second half of the year program push. But with Coats for Kids getting launched, for the second half for January, that's going to take me basically till the end of February. And by then, we got to start wrapping up this. We only have a month left in the state general program contest. So I'm hoping next year with Warriors to Lords, we can get a little bit more of a boost and get even more councils to jump on board. But one of the things that I shared last night at the chapter meeting was this program hits home to me because I got to watch all those videos that they have advertised, and it hit home to me because my grandfather was in the Army, and he wasn't just in the Army back in the day. He was stationed with Elvis. He's got Elvis Presley. He has, okay. I've seen pictures where his station was right above Elvis's living area where it said Elvis right above it, E. Presley or whatever it was. I don't remember exactly what my grandmother had. But it was really cool to see that picture. And when I was asked to do this program, that really hit home. And then I started watching some of these videos, and it brought some tears to my eyes because it just reminded me, one, of my grandfather because I miss him, but two, also it just reminded me of why I became a Knight of Columbus and a 4th degree Knight of Columbus, is because I just want to be able to help those in need, whether it's just supporting our veterans or supporting just the overall community. Just really hit home. So we're gonna work on a video at the state level, and I'm gonna have some nice interviews from some that have served our country, from Brother Knights that have served our country, and each of them will have like a 1-question interview that I'll have on the video, and hopefully that turns out really nice. But that'll be my project here coming up in the next couple of months, so we can really get this Warriors to Lords program kicked off throughout the state of Ohio.
Absolutely, and it sounds like a fantastic program. And as we draw a little closer to next year, we'll definitely have you back on, and we can kind of expound more on that. Moving off of Warriors to Lords program. Another thing we really wanted to talk about, especially in 2026, and this is going to be huge for this year, and that's council development. I think very often, and I know, we get into this very continuing circle of, we bring in guys, we have the exemplification ceremony, and then we really don't have anything else for them to do, or we see councils who are struggling and we're trying to help them pick back up again. We're going to expound on that a little bit more when we come back from break. But, so let's just start there. Council development, how important is it going to be, especially coming into 2026?
The average age of the Knights of Columbus here in Ohio is around 63 years old. We're not getting any younger, folks. You got to be able to bring guys in and get them involved right away. And it's not just at the exemplification ceremonies encouraging them to get involved. And we do that, and we do a great job of doing that. But it's also following up with them, following up with their wives, texting them, emailing them, calling them, saying, hey, we've got this great event coming up. Really taking them under your wing for the first year of their knighthood so they can get involved. And then from there, the development of the rest of the council comes full circle, because then you'll get more programs, you'll get more people to participate in programs, and it becomes a thing of beauty, and everybody becomes more united.
Absolutely. Because as we know, we love the people that we see always at the events, and they're incredible people, but we want to see more faces in the crowd. We want to get more people active into the Knights of Columbus. And this is why council development is going to be such a huge endeavor coming up in 2026.
Right.
And we're going to talk more about that as we get back from break. You are listening to Night Talk here on Annunciation Radio. I'm Eric Loprete. My guest today, Greg Singlar, and we will be right back.
Every day, abortion affects the lives of thousands of women, but for every woman affected, there's a man who has also lost a child. Too often, we as men don't think we can feel hurt or sadness over this loss, but there is help and there is hope. If you or someone you know has experience with abortion, please reach out to the Joseph Ministry at 419-299-6660 or visit CatholicCharitiesNWO.org for more information. God wants you to return to Him and to experience the love and mercy that is waiting as His beloved Son.
Millions of Monica's is not a support group, but a prayer group for women to pray for their children who have left the practice of their Catholic faith. Join us the first and third Mondays at St. Patrick's in Bryan, the first and third Wednesdays at Christ the King Toledo or St. Thomas More Bowling Green, the second and fourth Wednesdays at Immaculate Conception, Port Clinton. For more information, go to millionsofmonicas.com.
The 4 stages of marriage are romance, disillusionment, misery, and awakening. Many marriages experience the first 3. Marriages that end in divorce never make it to the 4th. Don't give up without learning about the 4th stage of awakening. Retrovi has helped tens of thousands of couples around the world. To learn more about Retrovi or to register for a weekend near you, call 1-800-470-2230 or visit us on the web at www.helpourmarriage.com.
Hello and welcome back into Night Talk. Once again, my name is Eric Loprete. Joining me today is Mr. Gregory Singlar as we kind of go over a host of topics, going from council development to Warriors for Lords program. If you have not heard of Warriors for Lords program, we do encourage you to go to the state website and look up what that is, because that's going to be becoming a very key program for the Knights of Columbus in 2026. Just for now, we do want to continue to move on. Before we go back to Greg, we do need to go ahead and list our council announcements, because we got a lot going on right
Absolutely.
now, Greg. Want to start off River East Mother Teresa Council, 14.
Who's that council?
Oh, I don't know. There's some guys in Oregon, apparently. Along with their normal off-the-streets drop-off point, they will also be running a diaper drive from 11 until 1 at St. Ignatius on January 31st for the benefit of moms in need in Oregon. Rossford Council, which we'll be talking about coming up here soon, 5139, will be having a pancake/recruitment breakfast on January 25th after all morning masses. Existing members are encouraged to come out and help as we try to build up their council again. Council 7978 in Perrysburg will be having their Keep Christ in Christmas gathering. That's going to be on February 1st, along with a blood drive on February 31st at the school building. Council 11450 St. Jerome Council in Walbridge will be hosting a fraternal benefit night on January 24th and will be starting core meetings on January 27th. Council 14502 St. John the 23rd will be having a pancake breakfast on February 8th. Night with the Knights will be on Saturday, January 31st at Greystone Hall. Doors open at 5 p.m. Tickets are currently on sale. Please see your local Knight of Columbus member for details on that. I'm sure we're going to mention Night with the Knights coming up here soon in the next 15 minutes. Yeah. And then finally, Off the Streets drop-off points will continue this month. Previously mentioned, the one at St. Ignatius will be the last Saturday of the month on January 31st from 11 until 1 in the church parking lot. And St. Joseph Maumee will also be having their drop-off points each Saturday of the month at 8 a.m. So that's going to do it for council announcements. Once again, you're listening to Night Talk here on Annunciation Radio. Pleasure to be with you today. Hope that you're doing well and that you're staying warm. It doesn't look like weather's going to change anytime soon, and temperatures are going to kind of hang around where they're currently hanging. So remember to keep warm and just stay safe as you take on the roadways out there. But Greg, let's kind of get back into it. We ended the first 15 minutes talking about council development, how big that's going to be. And I think that's very present. Coming up, it's going to be in a couple weeks when we have our pancake breakfast and / recruitment drive over in Rossford. Yes. This is a council that we're trying to currently help out. We want to see them rebuild. We want to see them shine once again. So let's just kind of talk about, for councils out there right now that are struggling, and maybe they're seeing lower attendance, and maybe they're not getting the recruitment that they used to be able to get. Let's just kind of start from the very top. Where can those councils go to find help?
Easy solution. Utilize your district deputy. Utilize your state team in your diocese. Even though I'm a Coats for Kids guy, Eric still called me because he wanted my help for this project with Rossford, because I have experience being on the membership team for the state for many years. I was, as diocesan membership coordinator for a couple of years. I was state e-membership coordinator. So I've had that experience. So Eric leaned on me for the experience and the membership side of things, not just the program side, but also the membership side. So don't be afraid to utilize your state team in your diocese. And that is the biggest key piece of help that you can get. It's not a pamphlet. It's not a brochure. It's not reading material. It's literally just going and talking to these guys that are on the state team that can help you, and they want to help you. We've got a great team here in Toledo. Dan Roglin's a fantastic resource. Joe Hartle's a fantastic resource. Willie Meyer's a great resource.
Aaron Meir
is our core director. I mean, I love Aaron. He does not shy away from giving you his honest opinion on things. Obviously our good buddy Stu Vetters, our state warden. We're all here to help. And even guys like Sean Wyrick, who's just our media director for the state, he still has a lot of input on how he wants to see the diocese grow. So the staff here in Toledo is very, very strong, and I think that it shows with the fraternity, and you can even kind of tell even at our chapter meetings the last few months when we've all come together at the chapter meetings and we all talk. You can tell we're very motivated and want to help Toledo be successful. We want to see Rossford be successful, because Rossford, trust me, they're a great community. I love that parish. That parish is beautiful. That church is beautiful. There's no reason why we can't be successful in helping rejuvenate this council. They struggled for a long time after they shut their hall down, and the transition there wasn't exactly, I from what I've been told, smooth as it could have been. So now we're coming in there, and we're gonna help them get back on their feet. And the past is the past, and we're only looking forward to the future. Just at a recent chapter meeting, again, two of the guys that are helping revitalize the council showed up at the chapter meeting. Yes, we hadn't had anybody from Rossford at a chapter meeting in a very long time, so it was a breath of fresh air to have these guys come. And I talked to one of the guys afterwards, and he's like, I learned so much tonight about what other councils are doing and how Knights of Columbus things are going. And you learn a lot by just coming to a chapter meeting even too as well.
In fact, you beat me to the point there, and I was just going to say that we do have meetings in the Knights of Columbus, but the reason we have those meetings are so important because you are learning what other councils are doing and what other councils are doing to be successful, and that is why it is so important to at least have a representative come to one of those meetings and just sit in. They don't necessarily have to ask questions or be a part of the discussion, but if they're taking notes and they can bring that back to their home council. Hey guys, 11370 had a wonderful recruitment drive because they did this. You know what I mean? Like that's what we're looking for. We're looking to have those ideas bounce off one another to make each other stronger.
One of the things that stuck out to me was when we had our meeting with Rossford Council, we sat down with them and we said, hey, look, this is what we want to do. They listened. And I know as a human being, sometimes for all of us, it's hard to listen and sit there and just listen. These guys listened and they took mental notes and then they followed up with questions. And by the end of it, we had those guys all there that were in attendance at that meeting, ready to go and ready to help wherever needed, because they just sat there and took the time to listen to us to see what we were trying to accomplish and how successful you can truly be without any issues. One more person that I forgot to mention that I want to mention that you should utilize is your field agent.
Absolutely. I was just going to say that.
Because, Eric, you're a former field agent. You know what it's like to recruit guys as a field agent. And we've got Robert Hernandez, who is now full-time here in the Diocese of Toledo. Welcome, Robert. Welcome. You've been our part-time field agent here the last couple of years. Now you're a full-time Diocese of Toledo guy. So I encourage the councils to utilize Robert or whoever their field agent is as well.
Absolutely. Cannot be understated how I think monumental Robert has been to us since he came here. So thank you so much, Robert. We appreciate it.
Absolutely.
So moving off of that, Greg, let's kind of keep it going here. We had a great DD weekend. District Deputy weekend was absolutely fantastic. It was so well attended. I think everybody came away feeling that we could lift boulders, and the reason for that is because we have such a great state team that is dedicated to us being successful. I know we just talked about the local team here that we have in Toledo with Joe and Aaron and Willie, but now we're moving on and we have the state team, and we've got Mike Flersky, who has been a wonderful a wonderful state deputy so far. A wonderful state deputy so far. And he leads a great team. And let's just kind of say, how can we carry over the enthusiasm and the momentum that we saw come out of DD weekend from this past weekend?
I think it's very key to when you have your district meetings for the DDs to pass that enthusiasm down. A lot of times we just sit there and we're going through an agenda and we're like, okay, we got to make sure we got to hit this at our district meeting, hit that. But when it comes to passing on information, have a smile on your face. Don't be just straightforward shooting it straightforward. Make sure you guys are smiling, enthusiastic. It's just the little things. I think with those little things that you can do, I think that'll fire guys up. And also just making sure that you have all the right information too from DD weekend. And if you don't know of something, go ask Dan Roglin. He's our district deputy coordinator. He's got all the answers. And if he doesn't have the answers, I'm sure he will get the answers for you. Just again, utilizing the state team is crucial in that situation as well.
And one other point, the key word there, enthusiasm, and is DDs. We have to be enthusiastic, because when we go out there and we tell our councils, we have to be enthusiastic about what we tell them, because where that's going to relate over to? That's going to relate over to when those council members go and ask someone to join their council.
Exactly, absolutely, and it's a great recruiting tool too. And we're always told the DDs are kind of like the regional manager of a council. That doesn't necessarily mean you have to be the guy, the grumpy old guy that's, like, hey, you need you to do this and I need you to do that. No, you have to be able to motivate guys to be like, hey, we need you guys to help step up and, whether if you need to do a pancake breakfast or whatever program you might need to do, or, especially what Dan we've really pushed home the last few weeks is getting your programs turned in on the state website.
Yeah, and just for all those councils, another point I kind of wanted to hit today also was turning programs in. If you are not sure of how to do this, or you need help understanding where certain programs might fit into what category, there is a load of information on the state website that kfc.org or kfcohio.org. Go there, look under programs. You will find all the guidelines for the different programs and what things that your council is doing and where they're going to fit under those different programs.
Yeah, and we've got a great state program team. Tim Mangan out of Cincinnati, he's our general program director. He's fantastic. You got myself, Matt Smith, who's from the Toledo Diocese. He's our community director. Mike Gervati's out of Cleveland. He's our life director. Our family director is Michael Friel from Cincinnati. And our faith director is Mr. Chris Crum out of Columbus. And all of those gentlemen are available for contact if you need any help.
And one last point I wanted to hit, Greg, this has been a fantastic show so far.
Thank you.
Flown by, but we wanted to thank you once again for stopping by. But one last question, though, or one last statement I think we want to make is how important it is to nominate your Knights of the Year.
Yeah, absolutely. We just talked about programs and how you're submitting programs, and some councils are, they don't submit programs. If there is one program that you need to submit under each category, it is your of the year. Again, it is not for pride and glory for your council. It is to recognize the Knight of the Year, the family of the year, the religious of the year, and the youth of the year. It's to recognize those folks for all the good works that they do. Especially our priests, guys. The religious of the year, I think, is probably the most important because it recognizes our priests, our deacons, nuns, whatever type of person you want to nominate in that situation. So it's very important, and don't just put up a little paragraph and say, well, they did this because they're active here in the parish, and that's it. No, actually take the time and write a couple-page document of what they do and include pictures.
Excellent. Greg, great stuff today. Thank you so much for stopping by. We appreciate you taking time out of your busy schedule. Everyone else, thank you so much once again for listening to Night Talk here on Annunciation Radio from the Diocese of Toledo. Please join us next week as we'll have State Chaplain Father John Paul Walker join us. Certainly
fantastic gentleman.
Absolutely. Looking forward to that episode. Hope everyone has a safe and warm week out there. Have a good one. God bless.